Good evening. It's February 10th, and we're taking a look at the biggest stories in this edition of Rewind.
Reporter Zach Summers spent the day talking to drivers in Georgia's DOT about missing or misplaced signs on Interstate 285 near Georgia 400.
A driver posted a video earlier this week that went viral on TikTok. Here's Zach with the story.
Yeah, you know, hundreds of thousands of drivers travel this stretch of I-285 near Georgia 400 every day, but for some, including myself, choosing the right exit can be daunting and sometimes dangerous. In fact, this very interchange is now the subject of a viral video posted on TikTok this week.
It's a madhouse.
Charles Goldberg has lived near the perimeter in Dunwoody for more than 20 years. But there's one stretch of I-285 that drives him crazy.
Traffic is just incredibly dangerous, frustrating. You see a lot of road rage and you see a lot of accidents happening.
The area near Georgia 400 has been under construction for several years, but Goldberg believes the signage in place, specifically on westbound 285 approaching 400, is confusing drivers.
The signs don't fully describe what each exit is and where the exits are. In addition, the signs are misplaced.
Goldberg says drivers wanting to get off on Roswell Road or 400 north or south often have to make split-second decisions, which can be dangerous and add time to commute.
There was no sign to indicate to the drivers which side of the road to take.
We're so glad that you came to us with these.
CBS46 took Goldberg's concerns to GDOT. Spokeswoman Natalie Dale says their project team is now in talks with the contractor on the project to potentially make changes.
We have already asked them, based on one of your requests, to put that just to indicate Roswell Road specifically.
She says the 285-400 interchange project is complex, that there's a lot of moving parts, and drivers will see bigger shifts in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
It may never be perfect in the construction zone, but we certainly want to address specific confusions if we're hearing it sort of en masse. And back out here live, looking toward Roswell Road, you know, the big question is, when will this project be completed? Well, GDOT says the contract finish date is 2023, but that drivers could see substantial completion by the end of the year. We're live in the Coolray Road Tracker near 285 and 400. Zach Summers, CBS 46 News.
Thank you, Zach. New tonight, one of the state's top Republicans wants police to check the citizenship status of people they pull over in traffic stops. It's in response to immigration concerns at the border. State Capitol reporter Haley Mason is live talking with the senator and opponents. Haley.
Rick, this is the second highest ranking senator in the state who says he wants his bill to allow officers to gather data on how many illegal immigrants are in the state by checking citizenship during traffic stops. I talked to opponents who say this only opens the door for discrimination.
We don't know who's coming and who's going, and we think it's important. I think that citizenship matters.
State Senator Butch Miller says he wants Georgia law enforcement to be able to check to verify if someone is a legal citizen or not.
I'm not saying that people have to carry their birth certificate or their passport with them, but they need to have out of identification with them. And identification for an officer is key.
His bill introduced this week is only a couple paragraphs long. It says each peace officer in the state who lawfully arrests or detains someone with or without a warrant as a result of a traffic stop shall check such individual's citizenship status. I asked, after an officer has ID, how do they verify citizenship and would there be penalties?
They can verify that through ICE, but there's no consequence. No one's saying they got to come out and pick that person up. All we're trying to do with this bill is get our arms around what is the number.
Senator Butch Miller is adding another burden on police officers, putting them in a position that they should not be in, without any type of consideration of how you would actually dictate who is a citizen and who's not. Again, it's not the purpose of state police officers to deal with immigration issues.
Opponents of the bill argue this is a gateway to racial and ethnic discrimination in police stops. Miller says it's not about race at all.
I make no distinction with race or ethnicity or how someone looks. That's got nothing to do with it. There are plenty of people born in the United States that look just like people that are born in other countries. So I think that's a false narrative.
Senator Miller says his bill will be assigned to a committee in the coming days and then move forward, he hopes, to votes. Reporting live in the state capitol, Haley Mason, CBS 46 News.
Mortgage rates are back up to pre-pandemic levels. It's adding to an already stressful housing market. Many buyers pulling the trigger on homes as fast as possible, but the rush has some homeowners questioning their purchase. CBS 46's Adam Murphy explains.
Atlanta realtor Erin Coker knows a thing or two about the current housing market and challenges facing both buyers and sellers.
Oh yeah, patience is everything right now.
She recorded more than $4.5 million in sales last year as one of Harry Norman's top 20 realtors in Buckhead. And she'll be the first to tell you that recent homebuyers have been forced to navigate a housing market feeding frenzy with record low inventory and soaring home values.
I always tell my buyers, no home is going to be perfect. It's not, the likelihood of you going out and getting 100% of what you want is very low. I always tell people you got to go out and get about 80 to 90% of what you want.
A new Zillow survey finds 75% of pandemic-era homebuyers regret at least one thing about their new home.
It's really important that you're prepared, that you got patience, and that you partner with the right people.
Amanda Pendleton is a home trends expert with Zillow and said buyer's remorse is more common than you think.
The most common regrets are that they bought a home that needed more work or had more maintenance than they expected, and that they bought a home that was too small.
Today's buyers face similar challenges, but they may have more time to weigh their options. In Atlanta, inventory is down nearly 50% from pre-pandemic levels, and homes are now going under contract in about 10 days after being listed.
Make sure you have that sounding board.
Coker said choosing the right realtor is key, and you need to make sure you're pre-approved with a plan in place before looking.
I always tell people too, if this one doesn't work out, it just means it wasn't meant for you. The right one will be there at the right time.
And this home here in Atlanta, well, it's under contract. And you know what? You can expect to lose a home or two before you score one. So bottom line, have realistic expectations and be patient with the process. In Atlanta, Adam Murphy, CBS 46 News.
New tonight, Georgia U.S. Senator Jon Ossoff is helping the president pick the next Supreme Court Justice nominee. Ossoff and the rest of the Senate Judiciary Committee met with President Biden and Vice President Harris at the White House earlier today. This comes after Justice Stephen Breyer announced his retirement last month.
New at 6, a Kennesaw mother has been driving her toddler to their grandparents' home, but it's not for a visit, it's for a bath.
Her home without warm water for nearly a week because of a problem involving her new Rheem water heater. Better Call Harry has the story.
Sarah Reesing has no problem heating up a pot of water for her 2-year-old. Today's lunch preparation? Mac and cheese. For nearly a week, this has been the only way to get hot water in the Reesing home. Mom is not a water heater expert, but when the only temperature your Rheem water heater provides is freezing, you learn fast.
So this part here, the gas valve, it wasn't allowing the pilot light to ignite. So without the pilot light igniting, you have no hot water.
A faulty igniter valve is something you might expect with an old water heater, but this Rheem just turned 1. The good news, the part and the work are under warranty, but the plumber had bad news.
He said he had a clipboard full of names of people who had this problem, and he was actually having to put the orders in bulk.
It would take days for the replacement part. But in winter, a day without hot water is like a week.
You don't realize how difficult things are, daily tasks that you do, how difficult it is without hot water.
Atlanta-based Rheem finds itself in hot water. The Better Business Bureau's website shows hundreds of online complaints from customers and plumbers. One writing, Rheem technical support line has us plumbers waiting in many cases over an hour.
Has this happened to you?
Another went on YouTube.
So if it's not the pilot assembly, what could it be?
We contacted 6 plumbers and suppliers in Metro Atlanta. They all knew about the defective valve, but they also said Rheem's been doing a good job catching up. It was not soon enough for Sarah, seen here loading up for bath time at the grandparents'.
It's finally here.
One day after our interview, Sarah got the part, and the plumber made a special trip for the install. After 6 long days, the Reesings celebrated with a nice warm bath. Atlanta-based Rheem responded, saying, despite supply chain challenges faced by manufacturers, we moved swiftly to provide a solution for homeowners like Ms. Reesing. So which model is it? Rheem wasn't specific, but did say it only affected a small percentage of water heaters made between 2020 and 2021. And here's the most important part. The part and the labor are free. I'm Better Call Harry, CBS 46 News.
Developing tonight, Atlanta leaders responding to criticism over a $300,000 statue intended to honor Native American influence in Georgia. Councilmember Michael Bond spoke with the Muskogee Creek Nation today. The tribe concerned about the design of a statue of Chief Tomochichi. Scholars say he would have likely worn pants and a shirt and not just a pelt around his waist, which presents an inaccurate image of Native Americans.
These types of conversations are important, and do we wish that they were consulted up front? Of course we do. But is there a positive way that these two groups and communities can get together and move forward that works as a win for all parties? I think that's definitely the case as well.
The city doesn't technically own the statue yet, but plans were in the works to install the statue at Peace Park.
New today, a budget proposal giving Georgia teachers bonuses and taxpayers an extra refund clears its first hurdle. The House Appropriations Committee approved the governor's $30 billion budget today. It gives state employees a $5,000 raise and all teachers a $2,000 bonus. It would also give Georgia taxpayers a $250 tax rebate. The full House could vote as early as tomorrow.
New tonight, a law to expand one of Metro Atlanta's prized nature preserves is headed to the U.S. Senate. The Arabia Mountain National Heritage Area near Stone Mountain will gain 188 new acres in this bill proposed by Senator Raphael Warnock. It includes the Flat Rock Archives, one of the oldest African-American settlements in the entire state.
The Atlanta Pride is back in person for 2022. The festival has been virtual the last 2 years because of the pandemic. This year's festival will be October 7th through the 9th in Piedmont Park. This is the largest Pride event in the Southeast with more than 300,000 attendees each year.
Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Roll the window down! Roll the window down!
First at 5, video from the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office showing an officer tracking down a driver minutes after reportedly stealing a car. 2 cars were actually taken. Video from a car dealership in Cumming showing a black Charger and that red Camaro speeding away from the dealership. Police were already right around the corner.
CBS 46's Jamie Kennedy is live at that dealership tonight where the car was stolen. And Jamie, what are they telling you about all of this that happened?
Yeah, well, what the dealership's owner is telling me is that they've got a number of specialised vehicles. The thieves were after just one. They were able to get it out of the lot, but they weren't able to get away with it. Video captures the moment 2 car thieves are arrested by Forsyth County deputies, one in a particularly bizarre circumstance. But let's rewind things to tell you how it all unfolded. On Wednesday, just after 3 p.m, the 2 thieves seen in the red Camaro visited Don Jackson North car dealership in Cumming. One got out and went into the dealership while the other waited in the car.
Well, it was a pretty normal situation. He came in to look at a pre-owned vehicle, and the salesman came in and got the key to the car, opened the door for him. The customer sat down in the car. The customer took the key out of the salesman's hand. He snatched it out of his hand and took off.
Dealership owner Derek Jackson says police were called straight away.
This is Don Jackson North. We just had someone jump in a car and take off.
Forsyth County deputies were already in the area at a traffic incident. Body cam footage shows one deputy catching up to the red Camaro. They hit each other, and quickly the suspected thief, Jaquan Cheeks, is in custody.
It was the fastest response I've ever seen.
But it doesn't end there. The other car suspect, Quantavi Terrell, ended up crashing the black Charger. Dashcam footage shows him running right in front of a deputy who was having his car washed before his shift. He heard the call on his radio and promptly ran down the 29-year-old. Both were in custody within 23 minutes.
They were absolutely on top of it, professional, and handled that situation as good as they could have.
Now, deputies also tell me that the red Camaro used in the robbery was also reported stolen out of DeKalb County. Live in Forsyth County, Jamie Kennedy, CBS 46 News.
Pretty incredible, Jamie. Thank you. Developing tonight, it is a police department at the center of a controversy recently, and now the acting chief for Lawrenceville Police admits to behavior that got him in trouble at his previous job. CBS 46's Megan Packer was there for the announcement. She joins us live in Lawrenceville tonight. Megan?
Tracy, we are talking about the man now charged with leading this department after the former chief was suspended and then resigned after complaints of sexual harassment. The interim chief now leading the department admits to a past affair that got him demoted and suspended when he worked at the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office.
I'm going to address you guys today and hopefully put this to rest.
With his wife by his side, Lawrenceville's acting police chief, Major Myron Walker, discussed a part of his past he hoped was behind him.
7 years ago, I devastated my wife and my family by engaging in an extramarital affair.
Walker worked for the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office at the time.
I can't tell you how sorry I am for the intense pain this story caused my wife and daughters.
Records obtained by CBS 46 state his longtime affair included having sex in administrative offices, a patrol car, and when Walker was on duty. The documents also say he used his agency-issued phone to send and receive graphic pictures. It came to light after he was involved in a physical altercation with his mistress. Walker was demoted from sergeant to corporal and suspended, a punishment he says he deserved.
But I speak to you today in an effort to ensure the truth be told and ask our community for forbearance as we weather the storm.
Walker says he was transparent about his past when he came to the city of Lawrenceville. The mayor, city manager, and his attorney also stood with him during the announcement. Walker is leading the police force now after former Chief Tim Wallace recently resigned. Wallace was suspended after an investigation into complaints of sexual harassment and a hostile work environment. It caught the attention of State Representative Terry Nolowitz of Cobb County, who was working on legislation to offer protection to whistleblowers in city and county governments.
Right now, so many people are afraid to raise an issue of harassment happening at the workplace because they are afraid of retaliation.
As for Lawrenceville PD's current leader, he says he's focused on creating a better department.
I'm here just to move us forward and to heal our department. That's what we need now.
And Walker says he addressed this today because he learned it was going to come out in the media. He is still the acting police chief here. The city says they have no timeline at this point on naming a permanent police chief. Live in Lawrenceville, I'm Megan Packer, CBS 46 News.
We have breaking news. Police are searching for men caught on video robbing a local pharmacy. Alan Devlin live at the breaking news desk. Alan.
Yeah, Rick, it was 5 of them, all mass, breaking into this pharmacy. They ended up stealing cash from the register along with the register itself, and then they escaped the scene. So the video I'm about to show you starts with 2 men on camera running to the back of the store. There they go, dressed in all black. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office says this happened Wednesday morning, early Wednesday morning, at Powell's Pharmacy on Bloomfield Road. The men tried to enter a secured medicine area, but couldn't, and instead stole the cash register with an undisclosed amount of cash inside. Police say the men then drove off in a silver Ford Edge. There was no tag on the car during this incident, so no way to track them down from the vehicle they drove. If you know anything about this incident, you're asked to contact police. From the breaking news desk, I'm Alan Devlin. Back to you guys in the studio.
Alan, thank you. Developing tonight, Atlanta police searching for the person who shot and killed a man. Chopper 46 flew over Apple Tree Townhomes on Campbellton Road. Someone called 911 reporting a man had been shot and killed in the parking lot. Police have not released the man's name. Once we do learn more, we'll update this story for you. And CBS 46 with new details tonight on the shooting of a 4-year-old in Griffin. That child died from their injuries. That shooting happened February 3rd. 2 people, including the man you see on your screen now, 20-year-old James Lee Evans. They are charged in connection to the shooting. We're working to learn whether additional charges are being added for Evans and the child's mother, who are both already facing cruelty to children charges.
An update tonight, the person accused of killing a hearing-impaired man is in custody. Police arrested Ontavious Carter Jr. Investigators say he shot Doreker Jenkins 2 days after Christmas on Flat Shoals Parkway near Bowring Road. Jenkins died at the hospital.
Drivers who find themselves in trouble with their license could be getting relief if a state senator gets his way. CBS 46 Capitol reporter Haley Mason is live for us tonight, speaking with that lawmaker behind the bill. Haley?
Tracy, the state senator who is introducing this pair of bills says he hopes that they can help Georgians who have minor vehicle infractions to keep their licenses active and legal without having to go in debt to do it. If you're driving and get pulled over for a possible broken tail light or minor violation, you're expected to show up in court. But if you're a no-show, your license will be automatically suspended under current Georgia law.
A couple of probate judges reached out to me and talked to me about what happens.
State Senator Bruce Thompson says a license suspension can quickly spiral and lead to jail time if you don't show up or notify the courts properly, or if you simply can't afford to pay. He adds that license suspensions are adversely impacting Georgians, especially those struggling financially.
We take a semi-small situation, we turn it into an exasperated disaster for the family.
Thompson says also with so many people getting sick from COVID, no-shows in court were far too common. His new bill would stop automatic license suspensions.
It's no mandate. It simply gives probate judges the discretion that at their discretion, again, they don't have to suspend that license. They can take other actions.
Thompson testified that last year, 105,000 Georgians had their driver's licenses suspended because of failures to appear in court. Thompson's learned that many also can't afford to pay for license reinstatement. So if they qualify under a second bill of his, reinstatement fees would be waived.
Driver Services supports this bill, and all we're trying to do is help individuals get back on their feet so that they can drive to work and take care of the needs they have at home.
And this would be an income-based qualification. So if someone did not make enough money or make no money at all, they could be eligible to have their license reinstated without having to pay a fee to get that done. Today's hearing, though, was not one where the committee would vote. It was just a hearing only to introduce the bill. Senator Thompson tells me he plans to bring them up for committee votes in the coming weeks. Reporting live inside the state capitol, Haley Mason, CBS 46 News.
Thanks, Haley. Wednesday marked the deadliest day of the Omicron surge in Georgia. 167 people died, including an infant in Hall County. And that child was the second baby in less than a year to die from the virus here in Georgia. Right now, under the Gold Dome, lawmakers crafting bills designed to get rid of mask mandates in our schools. Governor Kemp says he wants parents, not school districts, to decide whether children should wear masks. And right now, parents are split on what's best for their kids.
I would love to be able for my son to go to school, my daughter to go to school and see their friends, talk to their friends normal without having a mask on until lunchtime. That's why my whole household is vaccinated, so we can be normal.
I have my mom, she's in the hospital now with corona, and she's been there for a month. So it's very serious to my family, and I don't want my mom to die. I don't want my daughter to get sick with it.
So far, this legislation is just an idea. We'll let you know when it is formally introduced. Straight ahead at 5.
Now at 5, Bob Saget's family says the comedian's death was due to head trauma. The 53-year-old's body was found in a hotel room in Orlando last month. In a statement, his family says experts believe Saget accidentally hit the back of his head on something, didn't think it was a serious injury, and went to sleep. They also say drugs and alcohol were not a factor in his death. Well, Saget's death sparked new questions about accidental falls and head injuries. So when should you get medical attention?
So nice, so nice.
A sudden collapse in front of an audience last weekend by comedian Heather McDonald. She says she's now recovering from a skull fracture after she was taken to the hospital. But according to reports, no one was around when comedian Bob Saget took a fall and went to sleep after hitting his head.
A fall can result in relatively catastrophic injury to the brain and spinal cord.
Dr. Ford Vox, a physician at Atlanta's Shepherd Center, treats patients recovering from traumatic brain injuries. He tells me Saget could have suffered from a slow brain bleed.
You might not have any symptoms to begin with until that blood gradually pools up and starts to press in on the brain. And unfortunately, that's what might have happened in his sleep.
Dr. Vox says the older you are, the more vulnerable you are to falls and brain injuries.
Do you have symptoms or not? And are those symptoms going away? there should be no new neurological symptoms after any type of head injury.
If you take a tumble and hit your head, get medical attention as quickly as possible. If you notice anything unusual, including worsening headache, confusion, nausea, vomiting, or slurred speech. Well, brain trauma leads to about 52,000 deaths a year here in the U.S., according to the CDC, and 1.3 million emergency room visits. So don't just think nothing of it. If you hit your head, you will want to go and get it checked out.
Thanks for watching CBS 46 News. Watch us live wherever you are, our mobile and our streaming news app. You can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.